My research of children's past life memories began when both of my children had past life memories. When my son was 5 years old, he developed a phobia of loud booming sounds, which we first noticed at a fireworks display. I had a hypnotherapist friend who was familiar with past life therapy techniques, and when my friend and I asked my son what made him afraid of the loud noises, he started talking about his life. He started talking about his life as a soldier. When we asked him about his fear of loud noises, my son, who was only 5, talked about being an adult soldier who was confused and scared about being on a battlefield. He described carrying a gun with a long sword at the end. And he also talked about his sadness and confusion about being a soldier. He described how he was shot in his right wrist and was taken to a field hospital. He described the hospital as just holes in the ground with something covering it. And he said they put him on a bed, but it was not a regular bed, it was a hard bench. He described how they wrapped his wrist and ordered him to go back into battle. At that point, he said he was very sad because he missed his wife and family. When I heard my 5-year-old talk about his wife and family, I believe I went into a state of shock. And I realized this is nothing he had seen on Sesame Street, that this was probably some past life memory. My hypnotherapist friend who was sitting with us realized that my son Chase felt guilty and sad about being a soldier. So he said to Chase in very simple language, "We live many different lives on Earth, and in some lives we play different roles to learn what it is to be human. Sometimes we are a soldier and have to kill others in battle, and sometimes we are killed as soldiers, but there's no blame." And Chase seemed to understand what was being said to him, and he relaxed. He continued with his story, and he said that he went back to battle. He saw cannons being pulled on wagons by horses, and he said, "They make me go behind a cannon." And at that point, he opened his eyes, he grabbed a cookie, and went off to play with his Legos. And as I was sitting there with my 9-year-old daughter and my friend Norman, my daughter said the spot where Chase said he was shot on his wrist is the same spot he had had chronic eczema since he was a baby. I think because of the excitement at the moment, I hadn't realized that. Within a few days, his chronic eczema completely disappeared, and it had not responded to any medical treatment before that. And we saw that his fear of loud noises went away. So I realized that because my son remembered this past life, he appeared to have an emotional and a physical healing. I thought this was the most amazing thing I had ever seen. So I began to research to see if other children had these memories too. I found the research of Dr. Ian Stevenson, and he had documented almost 3,000 cases of children who had spontaneous past life memories. It happens in children all over the world, regardless of their parents' beliefs. Dr. Stevenson found that many children who had these memories were remembering traumatic deaths. And in cases where children remembered traumatic deaths, many of them had phobias relating to the way they had died. And this is the pattern that fit my son's memory too. He had a phobia relating to his time on the battlefield that was triggered by the loud noises. But with all of Dr. Stevenson's research, he never mentioned any children healing from recalling their past lives. So from what I was learning from past life therapy with adults and from Dr. Stevenson's work, I started developing a model for healing children's spontaneous memories. I realized that these memories are a healing opportunity for the soul. Children come into this life carrying trauma from past lives. And quite often, just by allowing children to talk about these memories, acknowledging that these are real, and assuring them that they are now safe in another body, this can be enough to help the child let go of the trauma from the past and be fully present. It can be very healing for the child. Children have spontaneous memories of their past lives, usually up until about the age of 7.